Hey there folks, Chumpesque here, bringing another audio commentary, and today we have a game between th000 and TeD. Obviously both these players have been in absolutely fantastic shape recently. TeD with some really inspirational play, and th000 really, he's never been playing this good before. I think th000 was in with a very strong chance of winning WCG this year. His only sort of weak matchup has been versus Orc recently, but even that, I mean, he's just been playing so fantastically. I think I've only seen him lose against a couple orcs and pretty much no one else in the past couple of weeks, and he's even beaten lots of the best orcs as well, but I believe he did lose to Lin, so certainly TeD and th000 both very excellent players, and obviously this matchup, a really interesting matchup as well. Human versus Undead has gone through a lot of stages actually. We're sort of in a bit of a reverting back to an older sort of strategy set now. Certainly in terms of Undead, th000 actually going for a Mountain King first, that's quite interesting, whereas TeD, yeah, obviously going for that Death Knight. But Undead, yeah, as I say, they used to do Undeads used to do this sort of push right at tier 2, where they would just come in and with a lot of destroyers and try and take out all your towers or your expansion, but I think we've seen quite a change in both races how they play this match. Certainly as humans started expanding less, it became less and less viable to do the destroyer push, and actually with the Mountain King though, I think it's quite likely that we would see an expansion here from TeD. For th000, sorry. th000 putting up a really early tower, that's really smart. If you update it to an arcane tower, it means it shuts down all harassment early game, especially considering TeD is going for fiends. Just that obviously a Death Knight can't get near to an arcane tower, and those skeletons are just so quickly taken down, and notice by th000 putting this so far forward, he can really catch those units as they come in and get a lot of damage. And meanwhile, it looks like we are going to be seeing the standard opening creeping here from th000, going to creep this out for a very quick level 2, and TeD's immediately coming in to go for the creep jack, but I'm not sure he'll be here in time to get anything of significance. We'll have to see what th000 puts priority on first. Obviously this is still the best course of action for TeD, just because he is bringing in these fiends later on, so he's not going to have too much creeping for himself early game. It looks like actually we will just creep this out in time. I'm a bit surprised we didn't actually see any bolts used by them by this Mountain King early on, but oh my god, TeD in a lot of trouble now, gets bolts and will get surrounded. TeD, oh my god, such a nice surround there by th000. You can see what I'm saying, there's just nothing that TeD can do about that. He does try and take out this peasant, but between this Shadow Priest and just the massive DPS coming out from th000, TeD forced to waste a very early TP. Absolutely fantastic early play there by th000, and a bit of a mistake I think there by TeD to be so ambitious in moving in. Maybe he wasn't quite paying attention, I'm not quite sure, but it would have been quite nice if he had just held back a bit and tried to get bolted in, but still be able to get away before that 5-second counter runs down. And looks like this Death Knight, zero experience now. TeD being forced to bring in a bunch of ghouls and do some really aggressive creeping here. I'm not sure if he would have done this otherwise, but I think just because he was put so far behind, he is having to do this, and actually going for an all ghoul build despite getting up that really early graveyard. Perhaps what we're seeing here from TeD is he just wants all that extra lumber, which is a really surprising thing. I've never seen that used before, but I can't really explain it otherwise. And meanwhile, TeD now picking up a Talisman of Evasion. It's an alright, and obviously it's not going to help against that bolt, but otherwise it's pretty nice. Certainly not as nice as the Pendant of Mana that the Mountain King got, and it looks like th000 will now be buying a Boots of Speed. Absolutely essential for a Mountain King, because Mountain Kings are just so slow otherwise. It's painfully slow, and especially against an entire army with Aura. And oh, what a fantastic time to get level 3, gets that level 2 bolt and immediately gets a ghoul kill. Very nice use of that staff, and actually a nice bash there as well. And you can see TeD being forced just to use that call to try and keep one ghoul alive, but it's, oh my god, th000 getting 3 ghoul kills here. He is just destroying TeD's army. TeD really needs to be a bit more careful here. This is what, ooh, miss on a bash hit there. That was really actually quite fortunate. I guess that's one of the few advantages of getting this Talisman of Evasion against a Mountain King, is actually TeD didn't get that bash there, which is fantastic for him. And meanwhile, he is going to be setting up his expansion. Obviously, he did just creep this out with Militia and his Footman, which is a very nice thing to do, because it meant he got that level 3 super quick, and could also harass at the same time. Very smart play here by th000, as we've really come to expect in these days. And as we can see, we're gonna have to see what TeD does now that he's about to hit tier 2. He does have his first fiend out, but he isn't rallying it. Maybe he's worried about it being caught out by obviously one bolt, and then a couple of footmen can really take down a footman quick, and maybe that's what he's worried about. Meanwhile, we can see th000 actually did sell his TP, which is quite ambitious of him. I mean, he's probably going to need to buy it back at some point, but maybe he wanted to just get a faster expansion, something like that, and he could he could afford to use that gold for that, or he wanted to use that gold for that instead, and he'll be able to make it up in terms of all the extra mining time, but he's just going to have to play it a bit risky and hope he doesn't get surrounded. Obviously, a Mount King with boots is a bit harder to surround, but against Aura, it's just so tricky, because Aura units are so quick, and it looks like TeD will be able to finish off with creeping, going to be about halfway to level 3, and that level 3 is going to be so important for him, because he'll be able to coil things that get bolted, and really the big target then is going to be the Death Knight, so TeD might have to buy just an invuln pot or a healing potion, just to be play it safe. Probably also get a Frost Armor at some point on his Lich, although probably Nova first. We're going to have to see exactly what his choice is going to be. It's going to depend on whether or not he wants to be super aggressive, or he wants to do some creeping first, I guess, and it looks like through staying at tier 1, obviously spending a lot of money on his defense. Interestingly, he went for a guard tower here, which just it's alright against skeletons. It's as good as getting an arcane tower, but against the Death Knight it's much less useful. And if we had seen a lot of pressure by TeD with the Death Knight trying to get some coils off on those peasants as they came back from creeping that first camp, we could have had a bit of trouble for th000, but apparently, maybe it's because th000 got that surround and kill. I'm not sure at what point he upgraded that tower, but certainly it's a bit of an odd choice there. Looks like we are seeing th000 maybe gotta pick up some mercs here. Maybe the Berserker would be quite nice in this situation, or maybe he's just waiting for TeD to do some creeping and then gonna try and catch him at an inopportune moment. Yes, he does pick up the Berserker there. Pretty good choice against Undead in general, and looks like th000 actually making amazing use of mercs in a lot of games recently, especially this game. You can see lots of footmen and lots of mercs. It's actually a pretty scary army when footmen are normally not scary at all. You know, th000 now actually just starting his tech and at 41 out of 42 food, so actually, look, he's coming in here with his Mountain King trying to do something, but obviously the slow effects of these two towers, as well as just the all these ghouls just to get in the way, is really annoying, and it did allow th000 to get out, but TeD was going for a slaughterhouse, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a slow push. Meanwhile, this Mountain King is using a Staff of Teleportation to get in here, going to go for a bolt immediately on that Death Knight, though now that he does have 850 hit points, it's a lot harder to take him down, and it looks like TeD just going to be doing this push that he's been doing a fair bit recently, just where you come in just while your opponent's teching, while you don't have a huge army, but the heroes of an undead player can really make the difference, and really can very much help bolster an army. And it looks like th000 going to lose at least one tower here. He is coming in with his army though, he might just be able to save it, and it looks like TeD isn't even going to try and take down that tower. Instead he's just going to let it be repaired, and th000's unfortunately going to have to take peasants off gold to repair it, so a bit of a cost there. Actually he could have used lumber peons, but oh wow, th000 actually very low on lumber, so I guess that's why he took them off gold to repair, and TeD getting off of a couple of pot shots there, but does need to be careful of that bolt. Obviously one bolt on a feed can be really annoying, and I'm not actually sure if that Lich has gone for Frost Armor or for Nova. I'm not sure we've seen either actually use it, and the first statue coming in now for TeD. This is a very nice time to do a bit of a push, but you can see th000's just really responded to this, buying all the mercs he can, and that's really going to make this push from TeD a bit harder, and it's going to mean that TeD's probably going to have to delay his push. You know, it looks like th000 with his invisible Mountain King trying to do some scouting. Looks like he was about to scout for an expansion, but instead decided that would be crazy and just realized where TeD was going. He needs to stay in this battle with his Mountain King, because the Mountain King is so important while he still has mana, and it looks like th000 being forced to take down some of those skeletons first. Oh, what quick Lich kill! Fiend kill, and it looks like we are seeing Frost Armor first. That does make a lot of sense against this many footmen and that Mountain King, and it looks like another bolt going off. TeD's gonna lose another Fiend. This is going so well now for th000. It looks like th000 actually has this one mod gun, it took a lot of damage, and now getting out of here, and obviously between slow and bash and bolt, it's just so hard to keep those fiends alive, and th000 doing a fantastic job of killing them. TeD does get a couple kills of his own, but obviously there are much less important units. You can see like taking out footmen isn't too important, but taking on that Berserker is very nice now for TeD, who does now have level 2 on his Lich, so we'll probably see Nova being chosen second, and probably third as well, and then we'll have to see what he chooses fourth. It's possible that it'll go for Dark Ritual, and TeD now going for this push that he loves so much, bringing in that late meat wagon just to really start the siege, because obviously outside of the towers, th000 really is a bit powerless, and Arcane Sanctum now going up for th000, who now has hit tier 2, getting a Blood Mage. Oh, very nice. This is classic Blood Mage play from th000. We've seen such fantastic use of it recently by th000, and it looks like TeD taking a lot of damage, but now that he has a statue, he can get mana back, assuming he micros his statue well enough to use both of the abilities simultaneously, which it is possible to do, and you can see TeD actually deciding to get a second meat wagon rather than the second statue, and there we go. There, TeD, you can see actually using both the abilities. You have to manually click it, so it does take a lot of APM, and meanwhile Thu doing such a fantastic job taking down these units, even using dust just in case TeD is burrow. I'm not even sure if he does. Thu meanwhile losing both these priests very rapid fire, and actually now TeD now losing his meat wagons, which are 1-0 upgraded. Really interesting, they went for the upgrades there on the meat wagons. Clearly he was planning on doing a whole lot of damage, and it explains why he got that second one out so quickly. He just needs to make the most of that upgrade, and actually getting a third one out as well to replace that one he lost, which obviously he must have built before he even lost that first one. Very strong position now for TeD, who can start to take down these arcane sanctums even. One is building a priest. He's going for the one that's building. That's probably the right choice at this point. TeD should probably move this meat wagon a bit forward just so that it can't get cut out by the Mountain King coming around this blind corner here. And it looks like, ooh, not much of an army now for Thu. Level 4, level 1 though, that's not half bad against 3-2, especially considering that Mountain King is just so close to 5 now, and level 5 Mountain King is so terrifying, and Thu buying more mercs. Thu's been making such fantastic use of these mercs, and obviously we're seeing mana siphon first. That's so nice. You siphon off the mana from the Lich or the Death Knight, both have really important uses for their mana, and you can just give it to that Mountain King, who can just absolutely go crazy, especially with that Pendant of Energy. And a bolt going off there, ooh, on the Lich, it's a bit of an odd choice, and I think the Fiend would probably be a better choice there, but it looks like Thu now actually losing that one Mud Gun, which has been doing so much to help him take down these Fiends, and you can see these Ogre Maulers take down Fiends so quickly as well, and they're so hard for TeD to take out, but TeD now hitting level 4 on his Death Knight, going to give him that extra aura, which will be nice just for getting these Fiends away once they are when they are not stunned at least. But TeD just constantly bringing in all these meat wagons, even bringing in his lumber ghouls now as well. Really thinks this fight is very important to win, and those ghouls are going to be very nice against the breakers. And you can see that Thu just decides that this army is getting a bit too overwhelming, so he's going to move a bit back, going to siphon some more mana, and just bide his time, and give some more mana back to that Mountain King as well, probably. You can see the Mountain King actually that's very smart there. By transferring the Pendant of Energy to the Blood Mage when you siphon around, it makes your efficiency so much higher. It's just a really smart move there by Thu, and it's really nice if you have the time to do it. It probably gave him an extra bolt at least worth some mana, and it looks like Thu just can be able to take down these ghouls pretty quickly. But as you can see, every other unit's getting free shots while Thu's being forced to take down these ghouls. And, oh, it looks like this one ghoul might actually get away. Yes, he does. Very nice there. And TeD now with pretty low mana on both his heroes doesn't even have enough for a coil or a Nova. So ooh, a nice bolt there as well. Looks like Thu's gonna have to get back again, but still almost 300 mana left on this Mountain King. Such a beast, such a strong strategy here. But we can see now that this town hall has been taken down, this is such a strong strategy here for TeD, and he can just continue to push, and he really does need to continue to push. He can't give out Thu any breathing room now, just because obviously they're still only tied on income, maybe even not even that, because Thu's at 42 food, whereas TeD is at 54. Yes, they're not even tied at income now, so TeD needs to continue to be really aggressive, and it looks like we are seeing TeD actually taking a lot of damage. Ooh, the Fiend does go down. Ooh, and it looks like bolt and or coil and Nova going off on that Mountain King, who is being forced to run away. But it looks like TeD no mana to follow that up, and so he won't be able to get the kill. And especially with that use of that healing potion, TeD won't be able to get the kill on the Mountain King. But he does get a breaker kill, which is very nice. And TeD now being forced back, and we can see all the healing from the aura and the statues is meaning that the damage from the Mountain King is sort of being negated. Thu really on the run here, and really needs to keep on running basically, because he can't afford to stop for too long here. Through trying to build an arcane vault in a really aggressive position, putting out a lot of militia now. TeD needs to be careful to focus these down one by one. Maybe if he can get enough knife to Nova, he does have enough for Nova, but instead he uses mana for Frost Armor, and so he doesn't have enough for a Nova. It would be so nice to get one there. He will have enough mana very soon. He does have enough mana. He should go for that Nova there. It'll get so many kills, and it looks like TeD being forced back and losing another feat. Oh my god, level 5 now on this Mountain King, and a Coil Nova goes off on the Mountain King, but the Mountain King doesn't quite go down. Looks like this Blood Mage though is very low, uses the healing potion on the last second, and manages to get away as well, gets level 2 even, and it looks like TeD now being forced back a bit, but Thu losing so many militia. He did have some snares, and with these 4 Mountain Kings doing damage in the back, if he can ever force TeD away, he can take down Thu's base so quickly. Meanwhile, Banish going off there on the Death Knight, and this Death Knight now in a very bad position, but this Mountain King is so low. Thu being so aggressive with it. Thu really, Banish there, will he get the bolt? Yes, he does, down to 24 hit points. Will he be able to get the kill? It's still Banish, so he obviously can't be helped by the breakers. There he goes, the breakers finally get the kill. Oh my god, this is so nice for Thu if he can hold this off, especially considering that Thu does have this 44 hit point Mountain King left, and TeD now with a level 3 Lich, not a good hero just to have on its own. So I think TeD will probably want to tavern back this Mountain King, or the Death Knight, but whether or not he can actually afford it, it's very risky. Obviously, taverning isn't too bad when you have these statues, because they give you back your health and mana so quickly, and it looks like, oh, this one Mountain King needs to run for it. Possibly he could just to buy an invisibility potion would be quite nice in this situation. Actually, no, buys 2 healing scrolls in the invuln pot. Really playing it quite risky. I guess with no aura, it's alright, but if, oh, Bolt, the Banish and Bolt is so deadly against fiends. It's absolutely